Hi guys, Tanya Boddick here with Summerhouse Realty. I am here in the office on Center Street at 8 Flags Insurance with Scott Moore, and I have a few questions prepared regarding homeowners insurance coverage here in the state of Florida. I think that all current homeowners or prospective buyers in the state of Florida should be interested in hearing the answers that Scott's gonna tell us today about the questions I've prepared. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning.
When is flood insurance a must? And if a buyer wishes to add flood insurance, even if their home is not located in a flood zone, what could you tell us about that?
Well, the first thing everybody needs to understand, and if they get confused, everybody's in a flood zone. So you're either in it. So you're either in a high hazard flood zone or a low hazard flood zone. If you're in a low hazard flood zone, typically insurance is not required by the lender. If there's a lender involved in a purchase, if it is in a high hazard flood zone, which would typically be an A or an AE, then flood insurance will be required. You can purchase that through the National Flood Protection Insurance Program, or policies now have started to allow us to endorse the policy to add flood insurance to the policy itself. So it's you'll just need to talk to the agent, find out where your flood zone is, and make the appropriate decision at that time.
Okay, great. Next question I have is, what are the restrictions regarding tropical storms and hurricanes and this box I've heard about when it comes to binding insurance? And most importantly, for home buyers during hurricane season, what are some things that could potentially delay a closing if a buyer doesn't bind a policy soon enough?
So when you're looking to purchase a home, especially during, or shop your insurance or whatever you're trying to do, especially during hurricane season, you do need to be aware of where storms are. If you're referring to the box, that is if you're talking to experienced insurance agents that have been around, the box, it used to be a longitude and latitude box that was drawn up on a map, and when the hurricane or tropical storm or anything they thought might look bad got inside of this box, all insurance for property kind of shut down in the state of Florida. With the improvement in forecasting, at least, they've now kind of, the box, we'll still call it the box, but it's not really the box.
Okay.
They now take it and do, for instance, if there's a hurricane going through the Panhandle,
Yes.
we're still open for business today because they know it's not going to affect us.
Okay.
However, you need to still as soon as you find your closing date, you need to get your insurance in place as soon as possible.
Okay.
Because as good as the forecast is, they do change. And so you can end up having a closing date that the insurance company says, we're not closing, and then you're delayed, and who knows what happens at that point.
Sure. Very, very important to think about that, especially for someone who has never owned a home in the state of Florida and never had to take those things into account. The next question I have is, what could I do or any homeowner do to lower their cost of their homeowner's insurance or their premiums? I think everybody would love to hear this answer.
Well, the first thing you can do is talk to an independent insurance agent like 8 Flags Insurance Agency. We represent a lot of different companies. Your company you have just maybe a higher premium. So we have the ability to shop things around, make sure you have the right coverages at a good premium. So that would be the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
The second thing, and the thing that actually makes the most dollar difference, is probably your roof, especially in an older home. A wind mitigation inspection is something that is needed. It can save hundreds and hundreds of dollars a year. If you have to replace your roof, and if it's an older roof and it doesn't have hurricane clips or hurricane straps on it, I would talk to the roofer or contractor and see what it might cost to retrofit your home. It might cost you a little bit more. It could cost you a little bit more up front, but it can save you a tremendous amount in insurance costs going forward.
Gotcha. Very good. I've also, maybe this is something I've heard and maybe it's inaccurate, but sometimes I think if you choose to go with a higher deductible for a claim, could that also sometimes reduce your annual premium a bit?
You always look at that,
Okay.
take that into consideration. It can make a difference usually from $1,000 to like $2,500.
Okay.
Once you start getting above $2,500, kind of the return on the deductible gets to be not as much.
Okay.
But that is definitely something that's easy to move that deductible around and see the difference in insurance costs.
Okay. And finally, I do have one final question. Since you're an expert and you're an insurance agent for homeowner insurance, what's the best advice you could give somebody in a nutshell that's shopping for homeowners insurance here in the state of Florida? Something that maybe you find that consumers are just unaware about and it kind of surprises you on a daily basis in the line of work you're in.
Well, a couple things that people, when that have a current policy or they're looking for a new policy and they're talking to their insurance agent, understand that the replacement cost of your home is not the purchase price. Your purchase price might be more or less than it costs to replace your home, depending on the real estate market. So, just keep that in mind when you're trying to figure out what you're going to insure your house for. The other things to be aware of or water damage exclusions and limitations for things like burst pipes and water heaters, that might be older, that didn't flood the household. Insurance companies in the last several years have gotten really good about putting limitations or total exclusions on water damage. So you want to make sure that you know what those are, and sometimes that inexpensive insurance policy you're getting is not really providing you the coverage that you need. So you need to pay attention to that. The other things that you might want to pay attention to, roof age. If you're buying a new home and the roof age gets over 15 years old, go ahead and talk to the insurance agent ahead of time.
Okay.
And make sure that that you don't run into trouble at close to closing and find out, hey, the roof needs to be replaced for insurance purposes. And hot water heaters. Make sure your hot water heater, the age of the hot water heater, pay attention to that. Talk to your agent. They will require you to replace the hot water heater if it's older.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Scott. And if we have clients who are looking for quotes or looking for more information, how can they contact you? What's your number and your email address?
They can contact the office at 904-310-6515, or you can email me at Scott, SCOTT, at 8, and it's the number 8. It's not spelled out, keep it short, 8flags.com. So,
all right. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.